Hello and welcome to the July edition of my monthly tier list series. In this video, we'll be ranking all 101 hard charts currently in Beatstar. I'm slightly mixing up the narration for this video, so please let me know in the comments if you like or dislike the more serious tone. For this tier list, the data is collected from my in-game friends list, consisting of roughly 3,500 players. I pull the data from each song and then analyze it against each other. This takes into account things like where in the journey each song is unlocked or if songs were from tour passes. The goal with this tier list is to provide a community ranking for the difficulty to earn a perfect score, a diamond perfect, on each song in the game. Therefore, this list is not composed of my personal opinions and should be seen, at least loosely, as a community list. With all that said, let's dive into this month's list. This month, I went through and heavily pruned my friends list for cheaters. In addition, I gained roughly 500 friends, and therefore the rankings have seen significant changes. Out of the 101 total hards currently in Beatstar, 25 of them either changed rows or were new to the list. Sounds like we have a lot of changes to go over. Let's see what we're looking at. The 1-star row saw the least amount of change of any row, which tells me that the songs here truly belong. We see the addition of Deal With It and Housework to this row, though they are both sitting on the higher end of the 1 stars. Where's Your Head At is the only song to bump up from last month, slightly edging itself up to the 2-star row. The rest of the songs here remain common choices for early hard DPs, with Juicy starting to separate itself from the rest as the air quotes easiest hard song to perfect. Moving ahead, we see the 2-star row expand from June. Besides Where's Your Head At, we also add Candyman, Go With The Flow, Judas, and No Tears Left to Cry. Judas and No Tears Left to Cry are likely slipping in difficulty due to the recent hold swipe nerf, which was a solid part of the challenge of each of these songs. Candyman continues to settle into its spot as more players are able to acquire this song and earn scores. Previously, it was one of the least owned hard songs in the game, but is now spreading through player song lists quickly. In fact, of all 100 plus hards, it was the second highest in terms of the number of players unlocking it. Go With The Flow is right on the 2 to 3 line, but is edged down to a 2. The chart doesn't have anything particularly difficult in it, and it seems more and more players are getting comfortable with how to time it. We may see more movement here next month as several of these songs are close to nudging down to 1 stars. Next, the always full 3-star row. This row actually shrunk this month, as 6 total songs either jumped up or down a row. Firstly, we see This Is Where You Spin Me Round lands, which was clearly the easiest of the new hards from this month's tour pass. Other than this, the new additions are No Hands, The Bad Touch, and Wake Me Up. No Hands is one of the least owned tour pass hards, so data is more limited on it than most other songs. However, the data I have points to it rising up from the 2-star rating it held in June. The Bad Touch and Wake Me Up both slipped down from their 4-star rankings last month. Both songs are difficult for completely different reasons, but it seems players are starting to figure these out more and more. The rest of the row is firmly in the middle of the data pool and, as of right now, are cemented in place as 3 stars. The 4-star row slightly shrunk in July as well, though only by 1 song. 2 more of this season's hards land here, with Hysteria and Tub Thumping. As with all new seasons, the data is limited, and while I could see Tub Thumping potentially dropping to a 3 in the future, I expect Hysteria to stay here. 2 of the additions to this row climbed up from last month, as we welcome I Am Woman and Lovesick. I Am Woman, while also being a rarely owned hard chart, still eludes most players trying for a perfect score. Lovesick honestly surprises me that so many players have trouble with it, but the data is there to show it belongs here. Perhaps the most interesting July changes in this row are the 2 previous 5 stars that got bumped down. Don't Look Back Into the Sun and Strike a Pose both slipped down from the top rank. Don't Look Back was teetering on the 4 to 5 line last month, and I'm not surprised to see it continue to drop with the hold swipe nerf and more players getting used to the drift. Strike a Pose was more of a surprise, with a big surge of DPs on this in the last month alone. The majority of the songs in this row could have an argument made for being a 5-star, and several of them are statistically near moving up. As you'll see in a moment, the 5-star row grew tremendously this month as more hard charts began to distance themselves from the rest of the pack. That, combined with several new challenging hards from this season, sees the 5-star row grow from 8 songs in June to 14 songs in July. 3 of the new songs added to Beatstar land here, making for a rough month for casual players. Everybody Falls, Thrash Metal Cassette, and What's Golden all join the ranks as firm 5 stars. While being a bit skewed due to its recent release, What's Golden is currently the least DP'd hard chart in the entire game. Most interestingly, we see 5 songs climb up from the 4-star row. All My Life, Bonkers, Healing Lies, Mortis Game, and Super Leap Day all ascend to glory as more data shows they all belong in the upper echelons of hards. Of all the current songs in the 5-star row, Bonkers was the least DP'd of them all this month. It's interesting to see that all 3 Bad Randoms hards are now 5 stars, though the data shows We Won't Cooperate is still significantly harder than its 2 siblings. Lastly, Panda is beginning to separate itself as being the true final boss for the hard folder. Only time will tell if What's Golden or something else will challenge it for the throne. And with that said, this completes this month's hard tier list. The most movement was in the upper rows, though a big part of this was the especially difficult high voltage season. As the hard folder grows to over 100 songs, we start to see more and more innovation in charts, and your own skill set may make some songs more or less approachable. Let me know your thoughts on the new songs and changes in the comments down below. I'll try to have the July normal tier list video out in the next few days before the next season drops. Thank you to my Patreon donors and subscribers. Your continued support helps my channel continue thriving. Lots of new content coming soon, especially with the new season on the horizon. Besides July's normal tier list, there are several more videos coming in the next month. I'll be discussing the new multiplayer events that ran the last few weeks and going over what I liked and didn't like. I'll also be working on a fan-requested collaboration with Vertigo Music. We've met our 250 new subscriber goal and we'll be making a video of us partying hard while playing Party Hard. Outside of Beatstar, I'll be releasing some content from the rhythm game Fight Roast to test out viewer interest. Lastly, I'm considering recording some Dance Dance Revolution content for the channel. If either of these games pique your interest, please let me know in the comments and I'll test some new content. Until then, I'll see you on the internet.